We are less than 2 weeks away from UFC 220, a very important night in MMA, a great way to start the year, not only with the Bellator event in Inglewood, California, but with one of the most anticipated heavyweight title fights in the history of this sport. I think it's the best UFC heavyweight title fight since Cain Velasquez versus Junior Dos Santos won in November of 2011. You saw them square off a little over a week ago in Las Vegas. Now here we are on the road to UFC 220 in Boston, Massachusetts, and we are very excited to be joined by the reigning defending UFC heavyweight champion, Stipe Miocic. Stipe, are you there?
Yes, I am.
How are you, Stipe?
Good, man. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Remember when I saw you in Las Vegas and you choked me, but I didn't tap? You came from behind, sneak attack. I was eating dinner. I was minding my own business. You tried to choke me, but I didn't tap. Did your level of respect for me grow at all after that incident?
What are you talking about? You ran up to me way before. They were like, "Oh, hey, what's up, man?" You were trying to talk to me. Like, get out of here. Don't act like I wasn't like you minding your own business.
Well, I mean, it was like 30 minutes later, so I thought that we had kind of moved. I was just trying to, butter you up a little bit because sometimes you're tough enough to crack. But then you come and...
My confidence was low. Yeah, after I couldn't tap you, definitely my confidence was low.
Okay. All right. By the way, I have to ask you before we get into the nitty gritty. I was watching, the news and sports news and on Twitter and things like that. And were you at the parade on Saturday, the Browns parade? No, you weren't there. I thought I saw you front and center.
Yeah, definitely. No, I was not. No way, man. That's makes me feel look bad.
How do you feel? 0-16 parade by quote unquote diehard fans. How do you feel about this?
Yeah, that's not diehard fans. Listen, man, you think those guys wanted to go 0-16? I mean, they tried everything they could. I mean, it just wasn't our year, man. But it's just disrespectful.
So you think the fans were disrespecting the players in the organization? Like, if you're a true fan, you should not have been involved in that.
No. Like, it was for a good cause, like they raised money and stuff like that.
Oh, they did?
They raised money to get the parade, and that was extra they gave to the Cleveland Food Bank, which is great, but still, there was still a black guy for the city. It makes us look just dumb.
Okay. All right. I wasn't sure how because, they're walking around with coffins and things like that. It's a little morbid. I mean, it's a little bit, I don't know, poor taste, right?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, but then also when they turn around, they're like, "Oh my God, they're the best team ever!" Just fair weather fans.
Yeah. All right, so it wasn't you. I thought I saw you front and center there with your Tim Couch jersey, but I guess it wasn't you. I'm happy because you didn't seem like that kind of guy to do that sort of thing.
No, never. First off, I would never do that. Second, I was way too cold to be doing that. So yeah, I'm good.
Okay, so here we are on the road. You had the press conference, you had the face-off. What did you see? When you squared off with Francis, big bad Francis Ngannou? Everyone's saying he's the next champ. He's the scariest guy in the world. What did you see when you squared off against him?
Nothing, just a normal dude, just a regular guy when he's fighting like I usually am. I mean, honestly, it was all pressure's on him. Honestly, he's being built up as a finisher and all that, and but the best guys he's faced, I've knocked him out like 2 years ago. So whatever.
Okay, so that's a great point there because you look at his record, you look at Overeem, Arlovsky. You did beat those guys 2 years ago. Do you feel like he's, I don't know, maybe a product of the UFC hype machine that people are forgetting what you did? Like, why are they making such a big deal about what he did to those guys when you did almost the exact same thing to those guys 2 years ago when you could say that they were more in their prime, if you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, they were just talking about his punching power and all that stuff, and when he can't hit me, or whatever when he hit him, I mean, I hit it pretty hard too, but listen, I've been fighting at that level before he made his debut, so I'm not really worried about it and all that. I'm gonna go out there and do my job, man. I'm gonna go out there and smash him. I'm champ, and I defended it twice. I'm gonna break the record here.
My favorite part of the whole press conference was when you asked Dana White about the car, the little factoid about the car. That was the best part. It sounded to me like you weren't all that, like you were almost kind of mocking the factoid and the fact that we're comparing his punching power to getting hit by a car. Is that accurate?
Oh yeah, 100%. Exactly. I mean, I'm over it, man. It's exhausting. I understand. Listen, they probably want me to win. I'm at the night, the shiny new toy like they want. Because with him, they can, use that. Oh my God, he hit so hard and this and that. And listen, just over. I've been there all the time, knocking out dudes in the first round, competitors in the first round. So I'm not really
So you believe the UFC wants him to win?
100%, yeah, for sure. Listen, I feel disrespected, but I'm not gonna like dwell on it. Listen, I get paid two out of three things. One, I get the assignment, I get paid for, and also fighting. You know, if they pay for me, they would pay for me like to be like hang out with my wife, and my dogs. I mean, well, I'd be winning right now.
So what makes you feel like you just feel like they just want like a new guy? They want to deal with it. They think he's a better because like you've knocked out 4 people in a row, fireman, All-American guy. You've sold out the Cleveland Arena, all that stuff. Why do you feel like they want him to win over you?
Just, you know, he's got more hype behind him, I guess. You know, guy hits super hard. I mean, they're making a big thing about it. You know, he's knocked out some good guys. You know, that's probably why. You know, I mean, I'm not much of a trash talker, as you would say, and I just like to fight. That's what I do.
Around a year ago, almost exactly a year ago this time, you were on this show, and it was a different kind of Stipe that we had on the show. You were very fired up about your contract, and it's just kind of been this story that we've been following. Has that been resolved at all? Are you at peace with where things stand?
Yeah, they took care of it, so we're good on that.
They took care of it?
Yeah, they took care of it.
So you feel like they're taking care of you in that, in at least in that department, you feel taken care of?
Next question.
Next question. well, I mean, like, do you feel like you should be getting paid more? Is that fair to say?
No, I mean, honestly, I don't have to answer that. Honestly, I just, you know, I know what I want to be paid, and maybe I am, and maybe I'm not. I'm not going to worry about that.
Have you been told, okay, go out and beat this guy, and then we'll pay you superstar money? Have you been told that?
That's between the management and them. You know, that's why I fight. Let them handle it.
Yeah. So you don't get involved in any of that stuff?
No.
Okay. And is it fair? Like, are you the kind of guy you take these things? Oh, they want them to win. They want him to win. Odds makers listing you as the under. Are you the kind of guy that is able to use that into motivation? Do you need that kind of motivation when you're going into a fight, or like, I mean, you're going into a cage fight with another man who wants to knock your head off. That's all you really need.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of things, you know, but definitely I'm comfortable with being the underdog. You know, but you see what happens every time I'm the underdog. I win, so I'm not worried about it.
Yeah. But when you initially saw that, what was your reaction that you were in this fight? Like, after everything you've done, what was your reaction to that you were the betting underdog?
People lose a lot of money betting against me.
Do your friends bet on you?
I don't know.
You don't ask them? I'm sure they would tell you.
No, I think there were 1 or 2 people that told me about me, but I really don't have too many that tell me. I think they keep it between themselves.
At this point, do you feel like there's still a lot more questions to be answered about Francis? Like, we've never really seen him go into real deep waters or on the ground, wrestling, things like that. Do you feel like he's still kind of an enigma at this point?
Yeah, you know, I mean, we'll see. I mean, he definitely got the height behind him. You know, definitely got the punching power behind him. So, we'll see what happens January 20th. I walk out and still.
Have you seen his work on the ground at all? And if so, what do you make of it?
I've not seen any work on the ground. I mean, I think that one submission he had against Anthony Hamilton, the Kimura or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I saw that, but I didn't really see any groundwork. I haven't really watched that fight, and I think Andre Arlovski's fight. The one that I've seen him fight.
You haven't seen the Overeem fight?
No, I'm not. I was actually at my brother-in-law's surprise birthday party. I just saw a knockout. I mean, who didn't? It was all over the internet.
Yeah, but you haven't seen the actual fight leading up to it, like leading up to the knockout.
No.
You don't have interest in that?
No, I'll watch this week. You know, go over some film this week. We've been going over stuff now, but definitely go over more film this week and watch it.
Are you big?
About 2 weeks out.
Are you a big film watcher?
Yeah, definitely. My coaches watch it first, and we just go over stuff. I don't worry about it, and then they show me about 2 weeks out, and I see what I'm doing, why I'm doing it, and then we'll be good. What
did you make of his demeanor at the press conference, like interrupting you and saying that he thinks that you're nervous and things like that? What did you make of his whole vibe?
I don't know. Good for him, I guess. It makes him feel good inside and sleeps at night. I really don't care. I mean, you're going to find out, you're going to do lesson on the 20th.
Are you surprised that the fight is happening so soon after his last fight? Like, did this date surprise you?
No.
Do you think like the fact that he's going home to Paris, traveling, things like that, do you feel like he's not taking the challenge very seriously?
Maybe not. I don't care. I'm worried about winning. That's all I care about. Let him think what he wants to think.
Right.
Do my thing.
Yeah. By the way, I saw this commercial. You did a commercial in Cleveland. It's one of the greatest commercials I've ever seen about this rug. You're sitting with these guys watching TV and they spilled. right? What is that company called?
Nature Stone.
Yeah. Are they a sponsor of yours?
Yeah. I used to work for them when I was younger.
You actually used to work for them?
Yeah, I used to make the rocks. I put the rocks in the epoxy, and then I bring it in the bucket to the guys so they can put it out and trowel it out and make it even.
And now they're a sponsor of yours. How about that? Did you ever think back then when you were working for them that you'd be the champion of the world and they'd be sponsoring you?
Oh God, no, man. I just, being a fireman, that's all I cared about.
How long have they been a part of your team sponsoring you?
I think about 2 years now, 2.5 years.
Oh, wow. And so you've had multiple commercials with them, or was that the first?
No, that was my second. The first one wasn't so good. The second one I liked it actually real cool because actually the guy that knocked over the cup is one of my good friends.
Oh, wow. You got your friends paid too, or maybe not paid, at least some airtime.
Yeah. I was thinking about, quitting work and going to Hollywood, becoming a movie star now.
You enjoy that, like filming the commercial? How long does that whole process take?
Oh, yeah, it wasn't too bad. It was probably like 4 hours.
Oh, okay. They pay good?
Yeah. Yeah, I guess so. They're my sponsors, so they do.
Wait, what was that about? What'd you say? Say it again?
No, I said, they're my sponsors, so yeah, you pay well.
Of course, yeah. I love seeing like fighters in local commercial spots because I feel like that. I feel like I talk about you fighting in Cleveland all the time because it was such an amazing experience, and I kind of feel like you should be fighting there every time because you come across as a superstar over there, and then to see a local commercial is great. Do you feel the same way? Like, would it be better for you to just fight at home every time, or is it too much of like a nuisance with all the distractions and people asking for tickets? Would you prefer not fighting, maybe fighting close like Boston, but not exactly in Cleveland? How do you feel?
Yeah, I don't mind fighting in Cleveland. Not every time, probably fighting in Cleveland, but definitely, I like fighting in Cleveland. But it's just a lot going on. With the tickets, like I said, and a lot of distractions. But listen, I don't mind. I love Cleveland. I love everything about it. I love everyone that helps me out here. Like CLE Clothing, they're amazing too. Like they always make a shirt for me. They're just good guys. I'm actually coming out with my own logo emblem hoodies with hats that's actually going live today. So if you want to get some Stipe Miocic gear, go to StipeMiocic.store.
Wow. Look at you. By the way, are we mispronouncing your last name? You said Miocic. Well,
it's English wise. Miocic,
Okay. Why do you anglicize your own name? It's your name.
People have no idea sometimes. They call me Stipe, Stipe. I mean, I can go for days.
Yeah. Okay, so StipeMiocic.com/store, you said the new gear is out. Is it out right now?
That store. Yeah, it's out right now.
Oh, okay. I will check that out. Good timing, of course, with the fight coming up in less than 2 weeks. Okay, so is it fair to say, because I feel like the path to victory here is take the guy down, expose him on the ground. We haven't really seen him on the ground, but I also feel like, to steal a phrase from your day job, fight fire with fire, prove that you're the baddest man on the planet. Go out there, try to knock him out and shut everyone up. What are we more likely to see on January 20th?
We'll find out when I get my hand raised.
How much does that record mean to you, to be the winningest heavyweight champion of all time? Is that something that really, is it like DJ when he used to talk about Anderson's record all the time? Is this something that you actually had on your list, things you wanted to accomplish?
I thought it'd definitely be a great accomplishment, but I'm not worried about that. I'm just worried about Francis and keeping that belt, which I will. All you're gonna see me is get my hand raised, walking out with the belt still wrapped in my waist, and still.
And are you taking a break from being a fireman leading up to the fight?
Yeah, I just had my last shift on Saturday.
This past Saturday?
Yeah.
So you take 2 weeks off, essentially?
No, usually I work that weekend before, but since I've been leaving early for ESPN and stuff, I have to,
Okay. Why do you have to plug another outlet when you're on? You plug another outlet when you're on the show? I mean, did you have to do that?
Listen, you're talking, you're asking me questions, I'm answering for you. At least I'm talking.
I know. At least you are talking. You've come a long way. Do you feel like you've come a long way as far as interviews are concerned?
Yeah, baby stuff. Next thing I'll be running.
Yeah, we've really worked hard together on this, I feel like.
It means a lot. I mean, it does mean a lot.
Don't forget, when you become the winningest champion in UFC history, don't forget, who's been fighting that fight for you, all right?
I got you, brother. You know that. Okay,
one last thing. What do you think of that promo? Everyone's ranting and raving about this promo. Do you like it?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, UFC did an amazing job. I think they did a great job.
You enjoy, the stuff with you, lifting the weights, all that stuff? You liked it?
Yeah, that's great. I think that's definitely a great promo. I got a lot of good feedback from people, like my friends and family. They're like, "Wow, what a great promo! It's got me pumped up for the fight." So it's awesome. It's good to see.
Okay, well, it's good to see you back. I'm looking forward to it. Best of luck on the 20th, Stipe. We'll see you out there, and best of luck in the last 2 weeks of training.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, there he is, Stipe Miocic.